Order the new Lo-Fi Penguin desk pad and Picky Penguin notebook available over on Creator Inc. Check the link in the description below. Previously on the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve.
You talked all your stuff, yeah. All right, good. Get out of my office. You're stinking up the place with your foul void scent.
Where's all this racism coming from? Or I feel like some deep-seated shit.
I don't have any deep-seated dick, Lord. Now get out of here.
And now back to licking at people.
Hello, NicoB. Back with some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. When we last left off, we ran into freaking Gina. She's back.
And now she's a freaking assistant detective, assistant inspector detective person, which is awesome.
I love it.
I love seeing this kind of character growth, okay? I love it.
I saw you guys, by the way, joking before how, I'm like,
dude, I like seeing all these characters make a return again. And then they're like, talking about like Old Bag and fucking Larry. But here's the thing, right? The difference between these characters and fucking Old Bag and Larry is that these characters actually change and grow in different ways, a lot of times based off the experiences that happened in previous game. Larry and Old Bag are literally the same character every fucking game. Every game, nothing changes. Nothing changes. And it's why it drives me up the fucking wall. It's like, how many times can we make the same stupid joke? But goddamn doodly, does that not happen here? No, look at Gina. Gina is freaking cool as hell. She's already cool, but I like that now she's going to be potentially helping us in these cases, which you guys did say or clarify. So my thoughts that Gina was in the Sherlock Holmes story was partially true. There was a character named G. Lestrade, but it was actually a guy, first off. And secondly, he was more of like a counterpart to Gregson in terms of like, you could kind of just, I think sometimes you would get Gregson, sometimes you would get Lestrade in stories. I don't know if they were necessarily always together in the same place, though apparently I think they talked about how they would bump heads, right? Sherlock described them as being kind of rivals to each other. But this game sort of took that character and kind of morphed it into something a bit different. And honestly, I think a lot more interesting. So like, I think that it was never really clarified what even the G stood for. So they first changed him to a girl, changed it to Gina, and then made her a pickpocket all the first game. And I saw some funny comments of people saying like, people who have not read Sherlock Holmes stories were like, oh shit, she became an inspector or detective, that's awesome. And people who've actually read the stories were like, oh, there we go, finally, she's a detective inspector again. Good for her, you know? But yeah, damn man, it really makes me realize how much I really love this cast of characters. Like, kind of all of them, honestly. Like, there isn't a character here that I go, oh fuck, this character shows up, right? Or, oh, Jesus Christ, oh, I don't want to hear anything they have to say, fuck you. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. I don't think I've run into a character like that in this game that I just like absolutely hate. And I definitely have a few of the characters like that in the Ace Attorney games that I just genuinely do not like. Like even the bad guys. I mean, yeah, you're not necessarily supposed to think they're like good guys or something, but I mean, they're interesting. Like, Shamspear was fucking great, honestly. So was Miss Green of all people. So was Mr. Garrett and his wife. Even the juror members who we're not getting like necessarily a ton of like characterization for, but they're still getting some, right? They still end up actually being a pretty big part of the cases here, right? I mean, Mrs. Garrett was ended up being the killer in one of the previous cases, and the Altamont gas lady just happened to be there to help us with these other ones. You know, there's a lot of circumstantial, like, coincidental horseshit, but whatever, right? This is Ace Attorney. At this point, we're pretty used to it. And dude, I'm geeking out so hard over like this Van Zieks lore we're getting, because we really didn't get much of it last game, right? And I was dying for it. I was itching for it. So to start getting this shit now, it's like, oh, it's so good. So fucking good. But anyway, last episode. So this is actually going to be a little different. This is actually a comment told in two parts by two different people. I just thought these were together made this legit made me laugh my ass off till I actually started crying. So the first part was by Lady Holiday, who last episode said, Nico, it couldn't be McGundle. Too old. Nico, McGundle died. Like he burned to death. Like Rupert Crogray, Ashley Graded in the local station, admitted to killing him in the last game. Oh, right. Yeah, there was that. Well, hey, come on. It's not like if it ends up being Asogi, supposedly he also died, but is seemingly alive. I don't know if I'm getting your argument here. But then this was also followed up by Sarah Fontaniti, who replied with, nah, Nico's right. The issue is he's too old. Not that he's too short, too evil, and too dead. Oh, okay. That was a slightly better argument. Oh my God, dude. This one made me laugh so fucking hard. He's too short, too evil, and too dead. Hey, you don't know that he could have been wearing some stilts or something, right? You know, or maybe he was a good guy all along. Yeah, maybe that guy in the carriage deserves to fucking get stabbed to death. Yeah, you didn't think about that a little harder, guys. Oh my God, you guys crack me the fuck up sometimes. You know what? Like, there's a certain like nuance I feel like to saying something that is like, you know, it's like, it's a smart ass thing to say, but it's super fucking funny, so it's all right? And this is definitely one of those, and I love shit like this, man. This, goddamn, man, this is a tag team, all right? This is a tag team of comments here. Literally just, I busted a gut fucking laughing at this. So, to both Lady Holiday and to Sarah Fontanini, thank you so much for your hilarious and decently argued comments. And it's for that reason you are comment of the day. But all right, so we have now investigated the crystal tower and around it, which, by the way, you guys did say was likely based off of something called the Crystal Palace that did exist in London for a period, but was actually burned down sometime in, I think, the early 1900s. Though you guys to say, like, some of the stuff in the time periods and things here aren't exactly like spot on. Like, there's definitely inspirations to things here, but they don't necessarily happen around the exact same time that it, you know, happened in real life, which is fucking fine. All right, I'm terrible at history anyway. I wouldn't know the difference, but that's cool. I kind of figured it was this had to be based off something. I feel like it just seems, because so much of this game really is either based off of, you know, the stories of Sherlock Holmes, or based off of real things and, you know, the real London, not Japanifornia shit. But as I sort of ended up predicting at the end, I kind of end up splitting this episode into two because it was getting pretty big, but we're going to be continuing our investigation and things get pretty crazy. So take it away, past Nico. Why does this name sound familiar? Madame Tusspells. Is this also in the books or something? Or other things? October 22nd, Madame Tusspells, Museum of Waxwork. Ha ha ha! Oh, ho, ho. Oh, wax museum. Okay.
Ha ha! What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. Why are all the people so still? Guillotines? Ruthless murderers? I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. There's even two guys over there, and that one guy's the guy on the right has a scarf just like that one Patrick guy, right? Sergeant Pat or Officer Pat, yeah.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? I read about dead bodies and wax ones in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn into wax, apparently. It's called adipose here!
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno! You're scaring me! Anyway, remember I'm only 10 years old, you said it, Gooba! And, oh, God!
Stupid scrolling dialogue.
Anyway, adiposia doesn't form readily, you know? It's only in very specifically...
She already knows about it.
What now?
I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exhibits in here are real. You silly nugget, you. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh.
There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic. And And they're all such gruesome scenes. Hello there, I'm here too. I've been here all this whole time.
Of course.
Wait. Oh, Lord.
What is it?
Oh. I must be seeing things. Right?
Right. Oh God, I see a fucking dead lifeless hand right there.
Is this an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork moths has fallen over.
You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you?
Bruno, stop scaring me!
Is it a wax arm or a real one? I need to poke it and find out.
Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in the court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection, no! You do it. You're braver than I am.
Oh my God, it doesn't even let me. We'll never know. Do not touch the statues. I see the sign over there.
That big heavy curtain is a very prominent position, isn't it? I've a nasty feeling there's going to be something truly terrifying behind it.
Oh yes, that's the famous Tusspells special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want me to pay the extra fee and have a look?
Pay more money to be even more terrified? Let me think about that for a moment.
It's only a suggestion, jeez. Calm your tits, Bruno. It's not that bad in here. Jesus, you are a silly little Billy, I tell you.
Oh boy. Is this some infamous murderer?
Yes, called Jane the Ripper.
Jane the Ripper. That's how it was.
All her victims were young women.
I knew it. You could tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure sign of murder.
Well, yes. Ah! What's the matter, Bruno?
I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore.
Ew! Bruno, this is a T-rated game. Get that stuff out of here. Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub.
Really? Why is it there?
Sorry, I don't think it's significant.
I still think it has to be there for a reason.
Why are you here, bathtub? Tell me. What about you two?
These models are so well made. I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human.
Oh, maybe all the exhibits are real people. And then when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about.
Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already and I was on my way home. I don't want to be here anymore, Iris.
Oh, come on, Bruno. Stop being a big wussy.
I see a ladder.
Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong?
Oh God, we're not gonna do it, are we? No, it's just in Japanese. We have a totally different word for ladder that unfolds into half like that.
Oh God. Oh God, what have we done? No. No. We already had that version in here. Spade shovel, that was our version. No. You can't possibly tell me he's about to say what I'm afraid he might say.
We do it in English too, you know. It's a step ladder, or just steps. So be careful of making assumptions about others' cultures, Bruno. That's how wars are started.
That's how wars will be started, Iris. That's how this war is started and will continue for fucking ever.
I didn't realize step ladders are an international point of contention, but the writer makes it a stew point.
Yes, the writer. Yes, not all fourth wall breaking at all. God damn it. Fuck you. Fuck you guys. Ah, yes.
Is an example of Western Sujigari?
I don't know what that is.
You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword?
I still don't know, no. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Bruno? Do that Sujigari thing you mentioned.
Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least.
Unless I get attacked. Hello there, I'm over here flexing. I like it's just completely still. He just fucks about, right? I'm gonna read this little sign if I can. I think I'm probably just clicking on him, but.
It's the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes has his own wax statue in here? Really? That's right, I'm over here flexing.
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? Makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know! But look, Bruno, you can kick this Holmes and he doesn't move a muscle.
Can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait. Oh, this bit was a bad idea. It just moved, I'm sure. Not just a little bit either.
He just loves fucking about so much.
Really? Did it?
His blinking eyes.
Look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face. This waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look! There's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing. Hold it! My dear fellow, I take exception to your recording in such a manner, as if you see something truly abhorrent.
Like my amazing fucking epic song duty. Mr. Holmes! Ah!
I knew it! Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? In that kick, could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me.
But Bruno has something that he needs to ask you.
A question?
I thought you'd probably be getting bored too.
Is that what he just stands there, a makeshift one? That's his other partial day job?
He's like, well, I should have one made after me, so I'm just gonna stand here until they decide to do it. Or until they ask me to leave, whichever happens first.
So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more of being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all of my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Holmesy, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
He could know something, it's true, about Lord Van Zieks, what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For your luck, I'm quite suddenly taken in with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that arm over there?
Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how can it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. For now, I must return to my work. Behold. What, back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit?
He's not gonna say anything to me, right?
All right.
Let's just go look. You? They got check marks, so nothing new? Guess not. Oh, these guys.
Smiles are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human.
That's how Holmesy gets away with making himself a temporary exhibit for the day.
Maybe there are other people opposing his exhibits in here then?
Or maybe. All the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time, they all, okay, it's all the same.
Okay, that's actually interesting. It just got a little bit different. So they got rid of the check mark, which was kind of nice, but it's still about the same. I'm Tusspells.
What is this place? Madame Tusspells came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. So she opened this little waxwork museum last year. It's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tusspells family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Ugh, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned. Ugh.
Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions.
Well, that's supremely fucked.
That really turns my stomach.
Yeah, bleh.
That's just one of the several legends of the Tusspells family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin, is this House of Horrors. House Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. but people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. And naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the morals of them. Have you heard of poor taste?
My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked.
So the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is this just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here.
Anyway, back to my pose.
Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he?
Temporary waxwork.
What do you mean by temporary waxwork, Mr. Holmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. And when members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hands to shake.
And then they jump right out of their trousers. Like he says, they're flexing his arm, though, like, I'm gonna get you with this arm.
For shitting, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph of us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Holmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! Money!
You really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors.
As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. And I have the ravenous Iris to consider.
Oh, Holmesy, I'm so hungry.
That's so funny.
If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours.
Maybe some other time.
Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Now back to flexing my sexy bod.
Back to being a waxwork again. It's just me or does his final remark there sounded like a lot like a curse? Oh boy. I got something to ask you.
Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zieks. Ah, friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Holmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zieks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what was that happened to make Lord Van Zieks such a different person.
Oh, surely you know, Holmesy.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot, and that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about? Mr. Holmes? He's suddenly clammed up,
Or is he in his wax form?
Well, it seems we've reached the end of...
Greetings, probably. Hello. Oh my God.
Hello. Where did she appear from?
Oh damn, you are way hotter than I was expecting. I was like some old lady. Madam Miss Tusspells. Oh, some old wrinkly, like witch-like lady. Holy mother of God almighty.
Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? Does she look any more mysterious?
Damn.
I hope you are appreciating my museum.
Sorry, have we? Mr. Holmes, do you know? Oh, not again.
My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tusspells. This is my museum of waxwork.
What? You? You're the Madame Tusspells?
Bien, sir. The only...
Oh shit. She would be French. God damn it. So she probably have a French accent, not a British accent. Do I even want to fucking try? And nope, I am not even attempting it, all right? I already fucked up so much with the fucking, I don't have the French accent down. I don't know the pronunciations. I don't know the right ways to say words. I do not have a solid grasp of it. So I'm just not, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with what I was going with.
Only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I am a madam in name only. Is that a certain je ne sais quoi?
Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Holmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle.
Uh-oh.
Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
She sounds deadly serious.
She just carry out around a giant cauldron of molten lava? Or molten wax? That's a problem.
How am I supposed to ask Mr. Holmes about Lord Van Zieks now? Oh.
Let's not forget what Holmesy said before about something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
haven't we got enough on our plate already?
It's the hand behind her. Right? No? Still nothing?
He's not even blinking now. He really is a perfect model of a waxwork model.
I know it doesn't always seem like it, but Holmesy is quite a perfectionist, in fact. He's practiced at night sometimes instead of sleeping. Not blinking, I mean.
Well, practice makes perfect, I suppose. I need some eye drops.
I've just realized, though, seeing him standing over there now, he looks like he's that murderer's accomplice, doesn't he? Or henchman, even.
Yeah, really.
That's news to someone by the look of it.
Or by the sound effect of it.
Pretty lady.
Who are you and how old you be? 26. Esmeralda Tusspells, the proprietress of the Madame Tusspells Museum of Waxwork and the latest in a line of artisans privy to the secret Tusspells technique of capturing a perfect likeness. The Waxworks.
Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tusspells?
I did. I'm the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is, where she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Holmesy. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness.
It sounds terrifying.
All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
What's the situation with that?
My temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these spare exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Or words to that effect. Naturally, I'm well aware that Mr. Holmes is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Oh, for God's sakes, Mr. Holmes. Yes, a NicoB.
Or words to that effect.
Mr. Holmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing though, does he?
I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50 shilling problem. That must be resolved by the morning. Please give me money. Please.
A words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Oh, the pawnbroker from fucking last game? Oh, God.
It's the consulting detective work not going so well.
Oh, boy. All right, something a foot or a hand.
I wonder, can I ask you something?
Bien sûr.
I'm just curious. Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was the guy over there.
Oh, he's gone.
Your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he's disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object just for trade. Ah! Behold, it was me the whole time. There you are.
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working. Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear Madam Tusspells, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. Besides, nobody else here but us. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She's turned into as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though please be aware that I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Oh, boy.
Just so you know, I'm gonna have to come in to fix it up. I also require 50 shillings. Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something.
Yes.
What, pray, is behind the curtain?
A dead body.
That is Tusspells' special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it.
It may not be 50 shillings. I'm so angry. The special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer, then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Absolutely none. There's nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madam. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soup corn? A soup corn?
That's probably how you say that. Number 139?
Must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Tusspells' special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What to strike one, however, what the hell is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor?
Wait a minute. I recognize that guy. He was one of the jurors, wasn't he? Yeah. I think. He had like a little flower in his lapel and everything.
Right?
I'm not imagining it, am I? I think like that was like his gimmick is he kept pulling the flower like towards himself or something.
Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. This guy looks really familiar.
I think a juror. I don't think he was involved in any previous cases, but
Well, then perhaps Mr. Holmes, that man on the floor, is the ruthless killer himself? I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. Is he dead? What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans.
is he just sleeping?
So allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit.
Why? Why would you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
Okay, so those are all probably right?
She looks pale as candle wax.
I don't understand.
So, Madam Tusspells, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's time for a great deduction. The game is afoot. Let's go. Behold, to begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. Well, the answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so heavily from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Hoo-yah! Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madam Tusspells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by the public notice.
Or the dead fucking body.
Waxwork for sale. Your business is at hard times, you would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds. None. Now, let's explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is this portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow is, of course, the 200 pounds! Yes! It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him that what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
Oh my god, how the fuck does he do it? He's a fucking god sold for cash. Fuck. He's fucking dead, damn it. Waxwork location.
Woo! The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow to find the answer? We need only observe his neckerchief, such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
He's fucking alive.
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards.
But
next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely as he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Woo! Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. Hurrah! The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam?
I did not.
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in the custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit and not a moment too soon.
God damn it. Discovered already. It makes so much sense. Oh, it makes so much fucking sense.
This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Perfect.
Here comes the molten wax.
I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Holmesy, you have.
Blah, blah, blah.
And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Holmes. The notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Automol. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Automol.
So you mean that's who the sister or looking old man there is supposed to be? Ugh. Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, as if that puts things in perspective. So, it is quite a lot then.
Is there anything else you wish to add before I melt you down?
The bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. And it was already pretty ominous to begin with.
The smell of all that molded wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Holmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right, to make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's great deductions.
Of course it's all right. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tusspells vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tusspells, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famous and great detective and the temporary exhibit at work. Once again, with feeling. Let's go. No, it's my turn, Mr. Holmes. Hold it. Let's go. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here at this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your back. In estimation, sum 200 pounds.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast would seem, Madame Tusspells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes fall now. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she's selling any of her waxworks even for 200 pounds.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
It's funny, her little portrait here, for some reason her outfit's not purple. It's actually brown. That's weird. Huh. Wonder why that is. You got the colors wrong, artist guys.
If that's that much money, I would, but it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that can explain it.
Maybe the poorly old man.
Take that!
Ow.
This gentleman on the floor must know the significance of the 200 pounds. All we need to do is wake him, and we'll have our answer, with no need to deduce anything. Sugar of that nature will hasten the end of the world, Mr. Naruhodo. The end of the world? And there's a distinct possibility the man has no knowledge of the money anyway. So, do you cause the destruction of our planet, or continue with the deduction process? Choice is yours, boom. Looks like I better get back to saving the world then. Damn it. It seems this well-dressed gentleman is alive after all, just not alive and kicking. He's not a waxworker or a model of a mass murderer.
I'm sure if I paid 200 pounds for him.
I don't think the man's up for sale.
Anyway, it wasn't a silly place to put him. Other museum visitors could easily trip.
I don't think the man was put there on purpose either.
So there's the public notice. Oh. Note on the wall.
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tusspells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on October 23rd.
What? This is...
It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone's kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly.
Aw.
There we go. Take this.
Take that!
Yeah, boom.
Whoa, The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so. We must congratulate these criminals on the inventiveness abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it.
The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have.
In summary then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let's explore the next curiosity with which we are presented.
This dead gentleman.
Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow is, of course, the 200 pounds! So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes around.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Holmes is trying so hard. We must have let him down.
Well, there's a little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tusspells trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around.
Oh my god, it's a fucking hand. Hand of Madam.
This is just Madame Tusspells' right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
Oh, but wait a minute.
That's not a right hand, it's a left hand.
This is a left hand as well. Look.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean it's made of wax?
Waxwork hand. Oh, sweet mother of God. Her long braid must be answered no. Take this. Boom.
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow.
How could you?
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact, it's a left hand. And so much masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model.
Is that the person that she's supposed to be giving the, maybe the ransom to, maybe?
Some of the visitors in my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree if you go to view the blossoms.
I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
Ugh. You confronted the man trying to take the arm back. And the result, the scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later. For the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped.
Kidnap. Soft, yeah. All right. Now what?
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider the problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
Oh, I can possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief.
No.
According to Mr. Holmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Holmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tusspells' reaction to Mr. Holmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might have identified the man quite correctly.
Oh, God, his fucking arm.
What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Well, that settles that then.
Right. This isn't a real person at all.
His entire arms were ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been bent. Of course. That ties in with what we just found out.
Take that!
Boom.
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe. His shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Holmes. You shut your face. No spotlight for you.
He's become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
What about me? Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was the detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turned our attention to the old man and sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact, as if he were waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. 3 pence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas at Mr. Garrett's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
All right. Wait a minute. Oh my God, look. So he's fucking alive. And Mr. proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious fucking twitch. Ah, bolt.
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, the splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard.
He's just not saying anything either.
Slight shift in your choice of adjectives then. And there you have it. Well, Madam Tusspells.
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He's clearly fatigued. He's sound asleep.
But then, what's this tag showing a price of three pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler with which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because, as you know, there has been such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
Yes, that's right. I got everything right at the start. So it seemed that we finally arrived at the truth. Let's do a little spin, Master Naruhodo. Woo! The waxworker, the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit, has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. Behold, and that man is fucking dead. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. With my help, still a mystery. Case solved, yeah. It's still a mystery solved. Deduction complete. Elementary, my dear.
I love we pose like fucking Charlie's Angels.
All sorts of people visit my museum here, men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits,
I will kill them.
I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. Well, the second half at least.
It was a pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified that you enjoy the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted.
Yes, tragically, it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork, in as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish.
Haha! Okay, what the doodly's happening?
Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here.
It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed.
And I found a ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was the model of some horrible criminal, I suppose.
Of a particularly horrible crime, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor.
Oh my god, who's that?
Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry?
The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders had rocked the capital. 10 years ago?
10 years ago!
Yes, exactly the time that Barack Van Zieks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying,
Oh my god, was his father killed or some shit?
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
Was he killed by some Japanese dude or something?
So you surmise it was the Professor case. Who was this Professor then?
The Professor!
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Of course, he happens to be absent at present, on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How does all this relate to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the Professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Holmesy?
Those murdered by the Professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy, members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... wait, of course. What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh, gosh.
It was the 5th victim that led to the Professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zieks. No, my God. I don't believe it. Van Zieks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barack pursued a career as a prosecutor.
Oh, his older brother. Oh, not his father. Okay.
And eventually became the Reaper we know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past.
Such tragic dank lore.
Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. Fare thee well.
I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here.
Whoa. Wow, really?
It's been too long, really. I'm delighted to see you, Brock.
It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places.
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asmund. I just can't. I still can't believe it. Could it happen?
Tomorrow, the court will decide.
Yes,
Oh wait, is this happening? Are we not there right now? No, it is. That was harebrained saying. None of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. It is. It's happening right now while I'm talking to this lady, probably. Naruhodo's not here.
Yes, I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it.
I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barack, are you really?
What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interest at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else.
Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Barack.
Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court.
Ooh. To be continued. Shit. It's getting crazy, guys. It's getting fucking crazy. It's a cool start, man. I like how much it's tying into Van Zieks. It's getting me freaking excited. I'm pumped. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of questions here. I'm guessing it's probably going to be like a two-parter, right? Probably have an investigation afterwards. I don't imagine we're all going to be solving it right now. We still have a lot of questions, and we didn't actually end up seeing this engineer that was brought up before, did we? Even though he seems like he would play a pretty big part in this whole affair, seeing as he was the one who actually built the device, right? To his specifications, so seemingly. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this or these episodes. This could end up being split too, honestly. If you did, please leave a like and a favorite and subscribe if you're not already. Become Picky Penguin aboard the SLP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.